Oh, the fight on Centipede, just in time. Just in time for us to start our stream here. What is up, chat? How you guys doing? Fight on Centipede. I probably shouldn't say that, but then again, I'm the GM. And my RNG doesn't necessarily matter. Because I only roll dice because I like the sound it makes and roll 20. I don't actually necessarily need them for anything. I just do whatever I do. Just GM things. Let me open up my physical book here. Man, it is so much easier to run an online campaign with access to both a physical book and the online PDF. Because I can just leave the physical book open to whatever map we're on at the time. Or whatever area we're in. Like Thrushmoor's stat block and everything. Till we ever clipped that one time I literally dragged him away from the computer. I'm sure somebody probably clipped it. I had to do highlights, so I haven't done highlights in so long. It's actually possible some of the VODs I need to do highlights on might have expired. Let me see. You guys are getting baited so hard by clearly saying on a different account. Like, guys, you're better than this. You're better than this, chat! So, let me look. Let me actually look. How far back does my highlight log go? September 14th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not a VOD anymore. So I don't think that I can actually do all of the highlights I wanted. These are very, very old. You gotta explain the name to me though, Seg. I don't know if that's a reference to one of your previous names or some sort of overly complicated anagram or what it's supposed to be exactly. I'm not sure. But, let me unmute and chat here. Hello, friends. I know Shemu is on because I see him in the Roll 20s.
He's on not Discord, but he's on Roll 20.
Yeah, he's on Roll 20, so he should be here in a minute in the Discord arena. But, haven't seen anything Cha related quite yet. So we might be outie on Cha's today, which isn't the end of the world. That's exactly why we have a 5-man group. In case we're missing some people, we can still play anyway. We're just going to be down one from what the regular would be. But, I mean, honestly, character role-wise, the only thing we really lose out on is healing. And I will just let you guys use the Wand of Cure Light Wounds.
Oh, thank Christ. I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I'll just let you use the Wand of Cure Light Wounds. Let me look on Cha's stat page and see how many charges it has left. Because I'm sure she actually does a really good job of keeping track of her inventory. It's 28 charges. So you have a 28 charge Wand of Cure Light Wounds. I'll just let you guys use. Just pretend that you can cast Cure Light Wounds. You'll utilize Cha's ability to have Cure Light Wounds on her spell list. Well, either Cha, I suppose, to touch yourself with this Cure Light Wounds wand. But other than that...
Oh! Okay, hello.
So that's about 104 points of healing.
Approximately, on average.
Yes.
You okay there, V?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out why this stupid thing wasn't working. It just wasn't working.
Oh, hold on, there's a match on Discord.
It's
I
not
see.
like
What?
I wanted to hear the donation voice or anything. B, back up.
Hello?
Hello.
No?
We can hear you. We can hear you, Crazy Pants. Calm down.
Okay.
Can you
Colin
hear us?
1270,
Yeah.
thank you for the tip.
Alright, good.
But,
Ching.
hey, yo, Manshaw, we doing the stuff? Are you good? I don't hear anything, but he's in the Discord channel. And if I remember correctly from last week, they said that they would be sharing one laptop and phone for Discord, so that could be both of them. We might even have Chaws. It's possible we'll even have Chaw-based action. We might have the entire party. What I was gonna say though is worst case scenario if we don't have them. We still have a functional party role-wise. We still have the guy who stands in front of stuff and has lots of AC. We still have the guy who throws rocks at things and does lots of damages, and we still have a wizard who casts spells and does all sorts of neat shit. And that's a solid core. We can lose.
My type of damage is not piercing, slashing, or bludgeoning. It is structural.
See, the sad part is, I feel like at some point, it's kind of like a Pathfinder group initiation. We have to explain the Geothermal Society of Structural Damages to Starby. Because I'm sure she was curious why our Skype group was called the Neurothermal Society of Psychological Damages.
I was completely concerned with that. Like, that's all I was thinking about.
It was a beautiful bluff check way back in the day. The beginning of our very first campaign. It started with a tower just kind of collapsing on the edge of town, which is obviously kind of a big event. So everyone went out to go gawk at it, as people are wont to do. And in order to get access from the guards and whatnot that were there, to get up closer and look at it, Zendarin told them they were members of the Geothermal Society of Structural Damages. And then he had to get through. And then rolled some pretty hot bluff. Later in that campaign, went on to convince a group of kobolds to let him through into a dragon's lair because he was bringing the dragon a ransom he asked for, and the ransom was his dick. There were some beautiful bluff rolls that happened in that campaign. It was a magical place. So, it looks like we're still not going to have the Chaz able to play, at least until much later in the stream. They may jump in later down the road, maybe. May just be out today. He's just in Discord, so we can at least hear what's going on while they're driving to the hotel, I suppose. So we just need Shenmue to hop over in this here Discord. Are we ready to go? Because he's in Roll20, he's right here. But he's not in Discord yet.
I DM'd him on Twitter, he hasn't responded.
He said his dog had to go take a shit, like, 25 minutes ago. I don't know how long it takes the average dog to take a shit.
It depends. Maybe it's constipated.
It depends on how much the dog feels like taking a shit versus just jerking off in the lawn for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I know when Biscuit was little, when he was a puppo, we used to be stuck outside with him for a fucking hour. We took him out to shit. Because we'd take him out to use the bathroom, and he didn't want to go back inside because he's a puppo, and he wanted to run around in the grass and do puppo things. And it turns out, a corgi that doesn't want to be caught isn't really going to be caught, because it's a lot faster than you. So, and this was when he wasn't like puppo, but when he was like a year old or so, and he would just take the fuck off, and there's no fucking way you're catching this asshole if he doesn't feel like being caught.
That's the thing about my doggo, is he has anxiety of being abandoned. And I don't understand why, because he's never been, I mean, outside of, what you need to do, he's never been abandoned for a long time, but he has fucking anxiety the second you leave him. It's like, please don't fucking go.
Yeah, Biscuit we couldn't just leave him out there either, because he'd just bark at shit. He would just sit there and bark at shit constantly, because there's a lot of shit in the outside world to bark at, it turns out. So, if we left him alone, he'd just bark at things and wouldn't come inside anyway, but he'd be barking now. So we had to stay out there with him.
Woof woof.
God damn it, that was annoying. So, last week on Adventures in Pathfinder, you guys got to go outside the Happy Fun Times Asylum for the first time in this entire campaign. You all got to the town of Thrushmoor, which, I mean, is better than the asylum, at least.
For now.
But although you guys are all amnesiac and don't remember anything from the last couple of years, that's definitely a one-way street. And you very quickly ran into a wide variety of people who know you from before, when you used to hang out or live in Thrushmoor. And of the people that know you, a solid 98% of them don't like you very much, with the notable exception of Lily, who is one of Patricia's old friends from way back down the timeline, a year ago or more. Everyone that's known you guys recently doesn't really like any of you so much. So it's been kind of a struggle to attempt to find so much as a bed to sleep in, because the inn rejected you because of hatred and past prejudice, and because, well, apparently you guys were basically gangsters prior to going to the
Don't speak
asylum.
for all of us.
At least two of you were basically gangsters before going to the asylum.
I was apparently very likable amongst the community.
But you found an elf by the name of Lelwyn Hasak, who literally has Lel in his name, as Zindern pointed out immediately in the in-game chat, who was being pitchfork and torch mobbed by angry townsfolk who were blaming him for painting the strange mural that you guys found on the southern island when you first arrived, and defacing some of Thrushmoor's buildings, which, I mean, personally, to me, doesn't seem like it's really angry mob worthy, but an angry mob's gonna angry mob. You saved him by threatening the crowd, and he gave you his spare studio to stay in. So now, you guys have this little shack right on the edge of the island where his main studio is and where New Chapel is, right by the bridge. It's not very big, but it'll fit the 5 of you, technically. I mean, you might have to share some beds.
Now that I think about it, you're really right about that. The whole part that defacing a wall is not really worthy of fucking a mob. It's like, that man painting graffiti, let's go kill him! Yes.
Hey, it doesn't seem entirely pitchfork and torch worthy, does it?
No, it really doesn't. At most, it's a stern talking to.
Hello, Shemu.
Hello, Shinmi?
I see you, but I did not hear you.
I do not hear you either. Talk to me. Tell me your name. You broke me up like it is all the same.
Shemu. Shemu, nobody can hear you. Hello? Hello? Well, he's in Discord, but he's not talking yet. So, as you guys head over, we ended last session with you guys getting given this this small studio to stay in. So, you guys headed over to the building next door to Hasak's to go check out your new lodgings, I suppose, and end up here. This is the building you have. And as you arrive in here and take a look around the squalid little building that you'll be apparently staying in, other Shemu.
Fucking thing. I had some good material in there too. I thought everybody was just ignoring me, and I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, that's why we were saying hello, Shinmu. Hello.
I mean, figuring me.
Yeah, but I thought it's because I was bombing. I wasn't exactly certain what was going on. I'm like, oh, I'm starting out strong out here.
Dotting us to silence.
Down 0-2 in the count soon as I fucking come in here.
Well, welcome
Don't
to
worry.
the team.
From my pro league days, I'm used to being down 0-2.
I didn't like the feeling of it. I haven't been down 0-2 in a while. I'm like usually a fucking pretty solid base hitter. I don't know why I have all the baseball references, but it's working, I guess.
So you guys get here to your new fantastic 5-star lodgings, and as you get inside, Cornell echoes sort of the idea that Patricia had been saying earlier, and says maybe me and Liana should lay low here for a bit. Let you, the 3 of you, go look around town, see if you'll have some better luck. Because it seems like just the fact that we're with you is causing a lot of problems, and
seems to me like we should stay together.
You know, Cornel, I think that's the longest sentence I've ever heard you say.
Yeah.
Well, he's not. I'm not word for wording him. I'm saying the general idea.
So it's even
People
longer.
don't seem to like us.
Speak
We
for
should
yourself,
stay here.
Cornell.
I like you.
Speak for yourself,
A lot.
Darius.
A lot. Like uncomfortable amounts.
Like it's so much. It's It's almost awkward.
Brother,
Almost.
don't come out here.
What?
Not like this.
I mean, this house is basically a closet, so...
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm just being a troll.
At least go
So-
outside.
So, it is probably mid-afternoon by this point. I'd say getting on to around 3, 4 p.m. in the evening. So, there is still some amount of daylight left, what daylight Thrushmoor gets between the massive forests, the tall trees, and just the sort of ever-present mist rolling in from the bay. Not yellow, just regular mist. It's always at least a little bit foggy in Thrushmoor. What do you three want to do? You just finished up helping out Hasak. I believe you were headed down here to try and find Winter in New Chapel. Was your
Yes,
previous
that was the next,
objective?
That was the next goal.
All right, do you want to do that? Because if we head back over to the Thrushmoor map here,
Yeah.
Wintar.
I do. I do express my my relief. I've missed normal weather conditions.
normal and not yellow, and not raining meat chunks or boiling, or
Damn, I'm surprised you didn't catch that.
I didn't.
Missed.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus. Just like that joke?
fuck me.
Yeah. Fucking got it.
Got him!
I was like, I don't even get the fucking reference, but it's because I wasn't looking low enough. I wasn't scraping humor off the bottom of a fucking trash can. I wasn't prepared for
Which
this.
is ironic because that's usually your streaming content.
I know, right? But that one was below even me, and I'm pretty low, so...
I'm not sure it is even possible to get below you.
Well,
I guess I did the impossible.
and yet here we are.
I mean, it seems to be working for him.
So, anyway, you guys, this little building right here, I'll, actually go ahead and just mark it real quick. This little, that's not entirely visible on the map. Let's go with, how about, that's also not gonna be super visible. Let's just stick with a hot pink, a nice hot pink. That little shack right there, with the pink square around it, that's where you're staying. That's your little shack right there.
Okay.
So it's straight across the street from New Chapel. So do you guys want to head over to New Chapel?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
That's where Wintard is?
Yes.
Okay.
So the three of you head over to this larger building, and this, because apparently stone doesn't exist in Thrushmoor, it is still just a large wooden chapel, but it's pretty big. I mean, up with the Sleepless building and the obviously Fort Hellcoast and Iris Hill, this is easily the next biggest building in town. Huge, 2-story wooden chapel with a massive dome covering the back half of it. And on the front is a huge sigil that I'm pretty sure you guys identified as a symbol of Pharasma. It's the same thing that's on Winter's necklace. If you haven't put 2 and 2 together by now, it's a symbol of Pharasma. I'll go ahead and throw you that one if you didn't figure it out. But I'm pretty sure you did eventually identify Winter's necklace. And you head inside, and the inside has a bunch of scaffolding set up near one of the inner walls and a half-finished painting, which is currently sprawled across all of one wall of the entryway, across the ceiling, and part of the other wall where the scaffolding is. And it depicts a woman on the ceiling in dark, like what you would imagine basically Grim Reaper robes, but not as ragged and gross looking, just kind of black, wrinkled, flowing robes covering her whole body, and you can barely see like a sliver of her face under the hood, and holding out her hands towards the 2 walls, and just a huge variety of people coming up one side, old, missing limbs, wounded, and passing to the other, where a massive tower that appears to be made of bones is currently being painted. Like I said, about halfway through. And inside are a variety of people. There's most of the people that you recognize from the chapel. Most of them by now have made, from the chapel and the asylum rather. Most of them have made their way over to New Chapel. But there's a small smattering of people you don't recognize, dressed in similar black
Twitch
robes.
is on
although,
fire.
Yeah, I
Twitch is
know.
on
Twitch
fire.
is literally always on fire. It's just really shitty today. There's nothing I can do
I
about
just
it.
I don't want chat to miss out on anything because they're getting an.
Well, they're
infinite
gonna
load
miss
of
out on
stuff.
stuff because Twitch is completely broken today. But they're wearing less ornate, less elegant, but similar black robes, and most of them sport a larger version of Winter's necklace. And inside, of course, also is Winter herself near the back, standing with a lot of the various chapel residents, talking to some of the guys you know, as well as one of the people you don't recognize. And as the door closes behind you and you come in, she would turn and see the lot of you, turn back and say something briefly to the group she's talking to, and head over towards you. And she says, I was honestly beginning to wonder if you were coming to Thrushmoor. Surprised it took so long for you to get here.
Well,
Suppose you had your own things going on.
we just wanted to get out of our search for sanity.
It's fair enough, I don't blame you. What happened in the asylum was a very unique experience, and she gestures back towards the man in the black robe she was talking to. I'm working with some of the remaining clerics here, trying to regain what faith I had. I mean, we did get out alive after all, but again, sometimes it's just still having trouble understanding the will of Pharasma, I suppose. So,
Could have been a will of a different god.
I suppose that's true. There are many, and their intentions unfathomable. Assume that you've found yourselves well in Thrushmoor?
Yes, actually. I got a shiny new cape. I'll show him my new cape.
Jesus Christ.
It's just
No
like,
one
well,
gives a shit about your cape, man.
Good
I
to know
do.
you're acclimating then. You're of course welcome to stay here while we figure out what to do with, well, everyone from the asylum. The town doesn't have a lot of lodging, really, just kind of the one inn, and most of the patients in the asylum, and I assume you're among them, don't have the clicky-clack of a keyboard to support them in town.
Few do. It is a rare commodity in these desperate times.
But they don't have enough, they don't have the coin to pay for an inn stay, much less more permanent lodging. And we're trying to figure out what to do with a lot of them. The best idea we've come up with, truly, is, well, either a longer-term stay here or the recent vacancies in the orphanage. I mean,
Recent vacancies in the orphanage.
when did you get to Thrushmoor?
Today, I think. Today, right?
Yeah,
We
I
slept,
think-
so wouldn't it be yesterday?
yeah,
Could
yesterday.
it be? Did we sleep in the
You didn't
lodging?
sleep. You haven't slept at Thrushmoor.
Yeah,
I
so
thought we
thought we
stayed
did.
at the painter's house.
Yeah, you didn't sleep, though. You just kind of, like, stopped by, dropped up the
Oh,
charge and
okay.
headed over here. It's
So
still, like,
earlier
4
today,
p.m.
then.
day one. Yeah, you haven't slept yet.
So
Okay.
But,
yeah, we're here today. You sure it's not that late after you? It's only been a couple of days.
No, it's been a few, but the situation in Thrushmoor seems to be out of balance, I suppose. There's, according to the clerics here, the town's been dealing with a widespread rash of kidnappings that seem to be targeted nearly at random. And of particular concern is the head of this very church has disappeared as well 2 days ago.
And the divinations of the wizard could not find her.
Wizard, what? Oh,
The
Patricia.
one the one in the Emporium.
Oh, up in Heimart. Truly, I haven't had much time to head out of this chapel more than is necessary to gain food and basic supplies. I have been trying to work with the clerics not only to figure out what we're going to do with, well, everyone, but to stay in the town as well. I do need to follow up on my investigation, of course. I was brought here as a royal accuser with Amari, and she has gone missing as well.
Uh-huh. And how would you go about your own mission without Amari?
Well, my first concern, I have two, I suppose. I need to make sure this lot is safe. I feel like I've more or less taken most of these survivors and patients from the asylum under my wing, so to speak, and their well-being is my primary concern for now, stale as it was before. After that, I need to locate Amari. Perhaps this is wishful thinking. I have no idea what's going on in the town, but it would take more than a group of rogue thugs to bear any sense of danger to her. She was a very powerful cleric. Skilled fighter as well. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm sure she's somewhere, possibly in some investigation. Will show up in the next few days, but until then, I'm mostly waiting here and
There is the investigation agency, isn't there, in town?
Sleepless, yes. That's where I was staying before the asylum. That's, Lady Rents was kind enough to offer Amari and our group a place to stay, and I do need to head back down there here soon. What? You were looking for Laos, correct?
Yeah, but apparently he's gone missing.
So I've heard, as has the magistrate and much of the town guard. Like I said, a very precarious situation here in Thrushmoor. Well, you may also have interest of talking to Lady Rents. I need to head down to the Sleepless building anyway. Do you want to come with me?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be delighted to.
Sure.
And she nods. And she's like, well, we can head down now if you're ready.
Darius? Patricia?
I got
Sure.
shit to do.
Let's go.
Hey.
So, the Sleepless building here is massive. It is, like I said, the only building other than the actual castle and the manor on the hill that dwarfs New Chapel. And there's a sign hanging out front, just sort of loosely swinging in the occasional wind, bears a symbol that you would recognize because you did find, I believe it was with the Wand of Bless, in one of the early areas in the asylum, you did find a business card of the Sleepless Agency with their strange eyeball-shaped sigil, which you see here on the sign. And the building, large as it is, has few windows and only one door, one double door in the very front. And Winter approaches, knocks on the door, and waits. And after a few moments, a little hatch at about eye level slides open, and then quickly slides shut, and the door opens, and you hear a woman's voice, "Oi, Winter, welcome back! What?" And she just stops and sees you three, and her expression immediately sours. "You're working with Lowell's lot now? What the shit is this, Winter?" And Winter's like, these are the three from, they're part of my group from the asylum. They, as far as I know, never been to Thrushmoor. And the woman at the door is like, "Oh, makes more sense. Played you for a damn fool." And she looks right at Patricia. "Well, good boy, you flaming bitch. If you've come to make do on your promise, I'll say what I said before. I'll cut you down where you stand, before you can incant a single spell."
What was that you were saying about people liking you again there, Patricia?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude, you're really well spoken for.
Well, so far.
Not
So
anymore.
far it was.
And
Well, not
Winter
anymore.
kind of takes a step back and looks at
We don't know who the
Patricia
hell this is.
and looks at the woman in the door. And she just puts her hands up and she's like, "Meg, calm down. I'm sure there's some
interject?
misunderstanding here." Yeah, you can, of course you can jump in.
So you know our Wizard Patricia. Do you know the rest of us?
And she just narrows her eyes and looks at the two of you. And she just kind of shakes her head a little and says, "No, but not willing to give benefit of the doubt to anyone hanging out with Gabor. I've had enough of Lau's toughs, and with him out of town, you have no one to protect you."
Gabor?
That's Patricia's last name.
That's my
Alright.
name.
Fair enough. Well, I assure you we're not business associates of Laws any longer, any of us. In truth, we did lose our memory at the asylum. So any past identity, any past offenses...
As you're talking, Meg you see a hand tap on her shoulder, and Meg looks back behind the door. And you hear a hushed voice say something, and Meg's just like, "It's Lau's lot! I don't give a shit if they're with Winter. We're not letting them in." She just puts her hands up and steps back. And the door opens wider, and a different woman steps up. And she nods curtly. "Winter? Who are your friends?" "Well, other than Miss Gabor, I'm familiar with her."
I like your outfit.
And she just kind of glares at you and raises an eyebrow.
Looks really nice. I like it a lot.
Isn't
And
that the attire of a grieving woman?
Winter says, these are 3 that I met in the asylum, but it seems we have even more to talk about than I had originally thought." And she nods and "Does indeed, doesn't it? Well, step in and won't have this conversation with all you lot standing on the porch." And steps back. And you see, as you're coming in, Meg just has one hand on her dagger on her hip, and it's just fucking death glare at Patricia the whole time she's coming in.
I'm gonna extend my fist to either of them, or extend my hand.
This woman just kind of nods at you, and Meg doesn't react at all. It's just total
Damn, dude,
not taking the bait. Yeah, completely denied.
No, I just wanted to shake the hand and introduce myself.
You walk in, and you see you're in, well, what appears to be like almost a police station bullpen. There's a whole bunch of various little cubicles and desks scattered around, the edge walls of which are only about 3-4 feet high, so you can see over all of them. And seeing across this large open room, and with a catwalk circling the edge above, a story above you, there's only 3-4 people total in here. It's mostly empty, but it looks like it was built clearly to support far more activity than what's currently in here. And as you guys get inside, she walks you over to a large table on one side of the room, with enough chairs for the whole group of you to all sit down. But this woman doesn't sit, and Meg goes back to one of the cubicles, just occasionally shooting a glance over towards you guys.
I don't want to sit. Can I stay standing?
You don't have to sit.
Okay.
I'll sit. I don't give
sit.
a shit.
So, you two and Winter are sitting, and Patricia's standing on one side of the table, and this woman's standing at the other. And she looks up at the group. Says, "Well, quite a bit's happened since you've been gone, Winter. Not the least of which is now you're apparently throwing in your lot with Lau's thugs." And Winters says, "Well, about that, this is," and she turns to you guys, "this is Cesadia Rents. She's the proprietor of the Sleepless Agency, and she's been working with Amari and I in our investigations. And like I said, I met them in the asylum. They've no memories of who they were or anything. They don't remember you. They don't remember Thrushmoor. They certainly don't remember working for Lowell's."
Well, how about that? Not
So
remembering.
they said.
We did find a file that suggested we had been in the employ of Laos. However, anything other than that is beyond us and lost.
Yeah, technically
Yeah.
we don't remember working with him, but the paper says we did.
Yes, exactly.
Meaning I don't know why
Technically
you
we
guys
didn't
are
lie.
upset with me. So, meaning why I
We
don't
didn't
know why you guys are I don't know what I have done to you guys.
And she just kind of narrows her eyes at you and says, "Well, Patricia, last time you saw fit to swing by the Sleepless Agency, with tufts at your back and spells in hand. Here to threaten Omari and myself for our investigations into Lowell's. You came here at his behest with a warning. And not ringing any bells to you?
Wow, Patricia, you're the muscle, huh?
Apparently I'm not the muscle. I had to bring some people, but I don't... I can't imagine myself doing this. But, again, our memory has been completely wiped. So I don't know the person that I was before.
And then Winter speaks up. I have no knowledge of them before either, but I can speak for what they've done for me over the past few days, as well as their abilities. I truly don't know what they faced in the depths of the asylum, but things there even worse than they were in Thrushmoor. I've had to bring, well, what few surviving patients and doctors there were across with me, and I've have them hold up a new chapel for now. But if it wasn't for these three and their friends, none of us would have made it out of there. I can guarantee you that.